BB Man is back.
Oh, oh my gosh, the man got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered.
This is your boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash True Inferno. And yes, this is the final part of my top 10 Nickelodeon cartoons of all times video. So yes, let's not waste any time. Let's finish this countdown off. Let's get it. Now let's get on to our top 3. Let's start off with number 3. The Legend of Korra. So when it comes down to listing like top 10 favorite Nicktoons or Nickelodeon shows, or what you think is the best Nickelodeon cartoon or Nickelodeon show, the one mistake that people like to do is basically bundle The Legend of Korra in with Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. The Legend of Korra rather is its own show. Avatar: The Last Airbender is its own show. So even though The Legend of Korra is basically the sequel, or you could call it a spin-off of Avatar, yeah, it's actually a sequel. Even though it's a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, you cannot bundle them up together and say, oh, number 3 is these two. No, it's one thing you say if it was a tie, then okay, maybe you could get away with that. But you can't bundle these two shows together because they are two different shows. So let's talk about this one. And there's a lot of controversy with this show too. I just want to put that out there. And it's Nickelodeon's fault, by the way. So this show came out April 14, 2012 and ended on December 19, 2014. Oh my gosh, I need to look up that day because 3 things happened on that night. And one of them was how this show ended. And I forgot what the other 2 were. And it was a great night. I just need to remember what happened that night. But anywho, there were 4 seasons, or books, as they call it, and 52 episodes. So let's start off with the premise. So the Legend of Character, yeah, here we go, is set in the fictional world of Avatar: The Last Airbender, aka, like I said, it's the sequel. Now this show takes place 70 years after the events of that series. The world is separated into 4 nations, and I ain't gonna get into that yet. Well, yeah, I can get to it now, so you have a good idea what it is. So you got the Northern and Southern Water Tribes, the Up Kingdom, the Fire Nation, and the Air Nomads. So the distinguishing elements of the series is bending, the ability of some people to teleconnectically manipulate the classical elements associated with their nation: water, earth, fire, or air. Bending is carried out by spiritual and physical exercises portrayed as similar to the Chinese martial arts. Only one person, the Avatar, can bend all 4 elements. Psychologically reincarnating among the world's 4 nations, the Avatar maintains peace and balance in the world. So when the last Avatar before this one died, which was an air nomad, the next one is water, and then once this one died, the next one would be earth, and once that one died, the next one would be fire, and once that one dies, it would be air, and it's the cycle like that. So as soon as one Avatar dies, the next one is instantly born. So that's how it goes. Moving on, The Legend of Korra focus on, come on now, who does it focus on? It focuses on Korra, Avatar Korra, who is a 17-year-old girl from the Southern Water Tribe and the successor of Avatar Aang from the Avatar: The Last Airbender. So the first season is mostly set in Republic City, the capital of the United Republic of Nations, which is a multicultural sovereign state that emerged from the civil conflict in the Fire Nation colonies, in the Earth Kingdom after the end of The Last Airbender, founded by both Avatar Aang and Fire Lord Zuko. The 1920s inspired metropolis is described as, and I quote, if Manhattan had happened in Asia by the series creators, and its residents are united by their passion for pro bending, a spectacular sport in which 2 teams composed of an earthbender, waterbender, and firebender throw each other out of a ring using bending techniques. Rapid technological growth has displaced the spirituality of bending in what was considered a renowned martial art in Avatar: The Last Airbender is now commonplace with Benders in Republic City using their abilities to commit crime, compete in spectator sports, and fulfill everyday jobs. The second season is mostly set in the southern polar region, while the third and fourth seasons take place mostly in the Earth Kingdom and to a lesser degree in Republic City. So there's 4 seasons or books, like I said, but each one is different. There's a different adventure. I'm not going to spoil what each one is about. The show is phenomenal. Now, here's the thing about this show. Now, this show tackles some really, I want to say, it could be personal stuff depending on who you are and what you're dealing with, because this show does indeed tackle a lot of stuff. So it tackles, like I said, it tackles a lot of stuff, like I said. And how the show ended, oh my gosh, that last scene, I would not reveal what happened, but oh my gosh, it was crazy. That's all I'm going to say. Now, let me get on with the controversy though. Yes, there was some controversy involving this show. So, in matter of fact, if I read it off here, yeah, here it is right here. So, if you look at the releases on Wiki, original network, obviously Nickelodeon, from April 14, 2012 to July 25th, 2014. But he probably but wait a minute. Didn't the show end on December 19, 2014? Yeah, it did. But here's what happened though. For some dumb reason, Nickelodeon took it off their TV show, and the only way you can watch it is off of Nick.com. So from August 1st, 2014 up to December 19th, you can only watch the new episodes online. I crap you now, off of Nick.com. I don't know why they did that. It was so retarded. It was so stupid. I don't know why they did it. To this day, I still don't know why they did it. And there was a lot of controversy over it, you know, because they didn't really, like Nickelodeon, even though they didn't create this show, but they picked this show up from, you know, the 2 creators, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, how you pronounce his last name. They picked it up, but I guess they wasn't truly behind it. That's why they was like, yeah, we're going to show it on our website instead of actual showing it on TV. And I'm like, why? And it's so stupid, because this was their best show at the time. This was their best show. Without question, this was their best show. And yeah, and you know, with the exception of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the prequel to this and that, those 2 shows are the only 2 shows, in my opinion, that could compete with anime. I crap you not. Like, these are the only 2 shows that were made that were the only 2 cartoons made in America that can compete with anime. Anything else I cannot think of that could compete with anime, but these 2 shows can. So Legend of Korra, fantastic show. They really focus on a lot of real life issues, personal, professional, and worldwide, and things of that nature. And you can see, like, once somebody pointed out, then you look at it like, you know what? They actually did, you know, kind of put this in the spotlight a bit. So yeah, you can learn a lot from this show. Really great show. I recommend you check it out. All right, let's move on to number 2, Rugrats. So, like I said, SpongeBob is currently the king of the Nicktoons. But prior to that, it was Rugrats. I don't care what you say, even though there was a lot of shows that came out, and even though some of the shows on this list were better than Rugrats in my opinion, Rugrats take the number 2 spots because it was the original king of all the Nicktoons, and it was the second ever Nicktoons. And like the first few seasons, Rugrats was like badass, like without question. So just like Doug, which came out August 11, 1999, Rugrats also came out August 11, 1999. So it was Doug, and in this order too, Doug, Rugrats, Ren, and Stimpy. The first 3 original Nicktoons all came out August 11, 1999. And again, evolves around my birth month. Now check this out though. It went from August 11, 1999 to August 1st, 2004. So again, it revolves around my birth month. So now, but here's the thing though. 9 seasons, 172 episodes. That's a lot. And again, it's reasonable because again, Rugrats at one point in time was the king of all Nicktoons. So let's take a look at this. So basically, if I can find the premise of this show. Okay, here we go. The series focused on the experiences of a courageous, adventurous 1-year-old baby named Tommy Pickles and his group of playmates, several other infants and toddlers, some of who debut later in the series. So you got Chucky, who is Tommy's best. Wait a minute, what now? Tommy's bespectacled, red-headed insecure, cowardly 2-year-old best friend. The twins, Phil and Lil, noted for their revolting eccentricities and love of digging for and eating insects and earthworms. Ew. And then later on, Tommy's baby brother Dill, who was born in the Rugrats movie, the first ever Rugrats movie. Angelica, who is Tommy and Dill's 3-year-old outrageously spoiled, selfish cousin, who is a rival of his friends and the main antagonist of the program. You also got Kimmy, who is Chucky's adventurous, playful stepsister, who was introduced in the second Rugrats movie called Rugrats in Paris, and Susie, a good-hearted neighbor of the Pickles family, who is Angelica's schoolmate, friend, and rival, who is better liked by the younger children and far more reliable than Angelica. The other characters basically, shown in Rugrats include the baby's parents, who are portrayed as often being easily distracted, leaving their young children free to emancipate themselves from restraints such as playpens or strollers and venture out to explore. Such adult figures include Dee Dee and Stu Pickles, who are Tommy and Dill's parents. Dee Dee is a sweet, educated, loving mother who decided to return to college in one episode. Stu is a often feckless toy vendor whose designs have been known to either fail or break. Other parents include Chaz Fenster, who is Chucky's stereotypically nerdy, mild-mannered father, a widower who later remarries. Kira, who is Chucky's sweet-natured, kind, and understanding stepmom, who Chaz marries in Rugrats in Parents. Drew Pickles, who is Angelica's indulgent, doting father who pampers her daughter to a ridiculous degree. Charlotte Pickles, who is Angelica's workaholic mother who overindulges her daughter equally, if often seen talking on her cell phone with an employee of hers named Jonathan. Although neither of them are afraid to put their foot down, then they feel she's getting out of line. Betty DeVille, who is Phil and Lil's kind but boisterous feminist mother, and Howard DeVille, who are the twins' mild-mannered, soft-spoken father. So Susie's parents and elder siblings also make appearances in some of the episodes, and of course other major adult characters include Lou Pickles, who are Tommy's and Dill's grandfather, and Angelica's grandfather as well, and Annalie Widow, who later remarries with an active woman named Lulu. And you got Dee Dee's parents. I mean, there's a bunch of grown-ups in there. I ain't gonna get it too hard because it's a lot. So again, like I was saying, man, there's like 9 seasons. Now, here's the thing. I want to say, if memory serves correctly, while season 1 was good, season 2 and 3, those 2 seasons were the seasons that did it for me. Like, because the animation improved and the background, oh my gosh, that background music. I need to like buckle down and look for that background music, because that background music, oh my gosh, it's some of the best I ever heard. Like, it's so mellowed out and chill. It is not even funny, man. It is so dope. But I want to say at around season 4, it started to die down a little bit, but it's not there yet. Probably around when, I want to say, let me see, season 6. So from season 1 up to season 3, the show was really good. Season 4 and season 5, it's starting to die down a bit, but it's not there yet. Season 6, that's when it fell off, in my opinion, because once they put Dill into the show, for some dumb reason, they changed the animation. Now, the animation is slightly changed for the better, to some degree, but then the background music just became goofy, and I just didn't like it. It was out of control to me. But so there was like 2 episodes in season 4 that really got me. Really, there was only one, but the other one I could see it getting some people. So the first episode of season 4 was Hanukkah, which was a Christmas special. One of the Christmas specials. They had 2 Christmas specials actually, and then the next episode was Mother's Day, and that one got me because basically they celebrate Mother's Day, and Chucky wonders about his late mother because he don't know what happened to his actual mom, and then he found a picture of her showing to his dad, and I'm like, oh man. So Mother's Day, that Mother's Day episode got me in season 4, and then everything else, it was pretty cool. So again, Rugrats, they sold a lot of merchandise. They had 3 movies, I want to say, and it has quite a few spin-offs, which was not as good as the original. So if I recall, there was the World Rap movie that came out in '98, Runaway Reptar, oh okay, which is a TV movie, World Rats in Paris the movie, and oh yeah, World Rats Go Wild, which is a crossover between the World Rats and the Wild Thornberries, which did not make my list, by the way. So, and of course, there was a few TV specials like revolving around Christmas. 2 revolves around Christmas, the Mother Day episodes, and things of that nature. Now, some of these episodes had me dying laughing, man. That's why it was high on this list. It had me dying laughing. The first few seasons was great. That background music was phenomenal. And at one point in time, this was the king of all Nicktoons. So, and it saw a lot of much of that. That's why this high on this list. That's why it's number 2 on my list. Now, let's get on with some honorable mentions. So, we got Chalk Zone. Chalk Zone was a phenomenal show basically about this kid named Rudy and this one chick, black chick actually, smart chick. And basically, Rudy, if he gets chalk, he has the ability to draw on a chalkboard and create a portal. And that would take him and his friend to the Chalk Zone, where they meet his animated best friend. I forgot his name. He's like some superhero or whatever. And with the chalk, he can make anything come to life. Like, he can make anything become real. And they normally solve problems and get into adventures like that. So whether they take place in the Chalk Zone or in the real world, wherever he draw with the chalk can come to life. So that's his ability. So Chalk Zone was really dope. Next up is Our Real Monsters. That's another classic. That's one of the original Nicktoons. So basically, it's a bunch of monsters, but they really focus on 3 of them that goes out in the real world and scares people. And they rewatch their work. I mean, that's basically it. Yeah, there's some adventures. There's some threatening situations that these monsters get into, but they normally overcome it. Great show. Check it out. The Fairy Odd Parents. So yes, the Fairy Odd Parents is an honorable mention because the earlier seasons was dope as heck. I will admit, they had me rolling. Some of those episodes had me dying laughing, man. I will admit. And there was quite a few episodes I wish I could rewatch right now. But again, they fell into the same, if memory serves me correctly, I don't know if it's still going on to this day, but they fell into the same trap that SpongeBob, The Simpsons, and Family Guy fell into. They just kept making episodes and didn't stop. And then once they added the baby, who is like also a fairy, and they added the dog, a talking dog, I fell off. It fell off. They had some movies as well. And some of those movies, like TV movies, was good. And, you know, I was watching this show, but it got to a point where it's like, okay, come on, man. How long y'all gonna go? But the earlier seasons was great. It was hilarious. It just didn't make my list because they were just better shows. My Life as a Teenage Robot. This is another classic right here that I kind of wish could make the list. So basically, it's about Jenny, who is a robot that just happened to be a teenager. She actually goes to high school with a bunch of other teenagers, but she also fights crime and saves the world, things of that nature, while dealing with typical teenage issues, or in her case, typical teenage issues that revolves around her being a girl and her being a robot. So, great show without question. The Angry Beavers is another classic, one of the original Nicktoons right there. Funny show about these two, not angry, but these two beavers. One of them is angry. The other one is like cool, calm, and smooth, but can be angry if pissed off, mostly by the other beaver. And there's some funny moments in there. Great show. I truly believe it's like an underrated show, in my opinion. And then, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we talk about the newer one. This is a phenomenal show, man. Like, obviously, they trying to create it as its own show and not try to draw up from the previous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shows. There was 2 prior to this one. The original one, which is one of my all-time favorite cartoons, and then the one that followed that one that was more serious. This one is like in between. Like, there's some serious things that happen in there. I ain't gonna reveal what they are, but there's some funny moments in there as well. Great show, without question. Now, let's move on to, in my opinion, their best animated show ever, and that is number 1, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, come on, what else? Like I said, you cannot bundle up Avatar: The Last Airbender with The Legend of Korra. You cannot bundle those 2 up. So obviously this was going to make the list, and since how you didn't see it from 10 to 9, you knew this was number 1. So there were 3 seasons, aka 3 books, and 61 episodes. And this joint went on from February 21st, 2005 to July 19, 2008. So here we go. Here's what happens here. So you kind of have a pretty good idea how this goes, but I'm going to remind you. So Avatar: The Last Airbender is set in a world adjacent to a parallel spiritual world that is home to humans and hybrid animals. Human civilization is divided into 4 nations, named after the 4 classical elements. So you got the water tribe, the earth kingdom, the fire nation, and the air nomads. Each nation had a distinct society in which select people known as benders, so you know the drill, water benders, earth benders, fire benders, and air benders, had the ability to telekinetically manipulate and control their nation's element using martial arts. Again, only the Avatar had the ability to bend all 4 elements. The Avatar, who may be male or female, as we all know, is an international arbiter whose duty is to maintain harmony amongst the 4 nations and act as a mediator between humans and spirits. When the Avatar dies, their spirits is reincarnated into the next of the 4 nations in what is known as the Avatar cycle. I'll explain what that is. An Avatar is required to master each bending art, beginning with the element of their home nation and proceeding to learn the others in the order of the Avatar cycle, starting at the age of 16. Avatars also possess the ability to enter a condition known as the Avatar state, in which they gain the knowledge and abilities of all past avatars. Although it is when they are most powerful, if an avatar were ever to be killed while in the Avatar state, the reincarnation cycle would end and the Avatar would never again be reborn. So there you go with that. Now, obviously there's a lot that go on with the backstory leading up to this particular show and things of that nature. So unlike The Legend of Korra, which is about a 17-year-old female, this one on the other hand is different. It's just about a boy for starters. How old was he? I try to remember how old he was in this show. And for some odd reason, I'm not even seeing his name. There it is. So basically, this is about Avatar Aang. Now, when the show first started, I want to... How old was he? I want to say he was 11. I could be wrong with it. No, he was 12. So he was 12. And then once the show ended, I believe he became 13. So, yeah, there you go with that. And again, there's 3 books, aka 3 seasons. And the reason why it's called The Last Airbender is because he is literally the last airbender, because his people was wiped out. So going back to The Legend of Korra, there was only a handful of airbenders and they were all related to Aang, obviously. So, you know, Aang have a family in between this show and The Legend of Korra. So there you go with that. Now let's talk about, now there was no controversy unlike with The Legend of Korra. This was much more kid-friendly in comparison to The Legend of Korra, although there was some serious moments, but it was still a great show without question, hilarious, and this won a lot of awards. So it won the, oh my gosh, I ain't gonna go through all these awards, but let me point out if there's any really noteworthy ones. No, there's none. So but it still won a lot of awards. I don't see any Grammys or Emmys or anything like that, but it did win a lot of awards nevertheless. And like I said earlier, just like The Legend of Korra, Avatar: The Last Airbender, those are the only 2 cartoons made in the US that can compete with anime. And unfortunately, there was a movie based off the show that was, oh my gosh, it was so awful. It was terrible. I saw it, and I saw it in 3D, which made it worse. And I cannot believe that happened. So, but despite that movie, that awful movie, the show is phenomenal. The show is without question, in my opinion, the best Nickelodeon cartoon of all time, without question. So that's my top 10. And obviously this is a long video, so this is going to be broken up into parts. So with that said, y'all know who this is. This is your boy, the new Jay Gatsby, aka New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.